Hello, good morning children. Today in this video I am going to explain class 6 history 7th chapter new questions and ideas part 2. In the previous video I have explained you the story of Buddha, how he came out and at the young age only how he came out from the home and what were his teachings and his opinions, everything you learned. And at last also the lady Kisa Gautami's story also you heard. Now Upanishads, you are going to learn Upanishads. What are these Upanishads? Let's see. Around the time that the Buddha was preaching and perhaps a little earlier, other thinkers also tried to find answers to difficult questions. While Buddha was teaching also, by the time so many thinkers were there, they want to know the real meaning of life. What they have done, they started to find answers to some questions, difficult questions. Some of them wanted to know about the life after death. After death, where these people will go. Is there any life after death also? Like that, they have questions. They tried to find answers to them. Others wanted to know why sacrifices should be performed. Why we are doing all these pujas, yagnas, homas, all these. Is it necessary? Why? Many of these thinkers felt that there was something permanent in the universe that would last even after death. So all these what they felt, there will be something after the something permanent after the death also. They described this as the Atman or the individual soul and the Brahman or the universal soul. So they found that that would be Atman, that is universal soul. They believed that ultimately both the Atman and the Brahman were one. Both the Atman and Brahman were same. Atman and Brahman were same. Many of their ideas were recorded in the Upanishads. So, whatever their ideas, they were recorded in these Upanishads. Whose ideas? The thinkers. Many wise thinkers' ideas were recorded in Upanishads. About what? The life after death. These were part of the later Vedic texts. Upanishad literally means approaching and sitting near. Upanishad meaning approaching and sitting near. Upanishads means approaching and sitting near. Okay. Next. And the text contained conversations between teachers and students. There were, by the time, teachers and students. Many Brahmins used to teach, and in Buddhism also, many followers are there to Buddhism. So, the conversations were recorded in these Upanishads in the form of conversations. Often, ideas were presented through simple dialogues. So that common people will understand better. That's why they have kept those records in the form of dialogues. Here also they have given children one more story, The Wise Beggar. Listen carefully. Here is a dialogue based on a story from one of the most famous Upanishads, the Chandogya Upanishad. So here Chandogya, from Chandogya Upanishad. Dialogue based story is there. Dialogue based story is there, children. Let's see. In the form of dialogues only they have given story. Like your English stories, English lessons. Shaunaka and Abhipratarin. Okay, these are the two sages who worshipped the universal soul. Who were the persons? Shaunaka and Abhipratarin. Prataren. I will write the names so that it is easy to you. Abhiprataren and Shaunaka. Shau. Who were these? These were two sages. These two were sages. Saints. Okay. Who worshipped the universal soul. Once, as they sat down to eat, a beggar came and asked for some food. So, while these two, one day when they sat for food, one beggar came and asked them for some food. We cannot spare anything for you, Shaunaka said. Then, when that beggar came and asked, Shaunaka said, we don't have anything to offer you, to give you. Who said? Shaunaka said. Learned sirs, whom do you worship? The beggar asked. When Shaunaka said no, then the beggar questioned them. Whom you are worshipping? Learned sages, you are so educated, you are learned. Learned sages, whom you are worshipping, whom you are doing prayers. The universal soul. Abhiprataren replied. Okay. Then, when the beggar asked, Abhiprataren said, universal soul, the Atman we are praying, worshipping. It means that you know that the universal soul fills the entire world. That means if you are worshipping the universal soul means universal soul is everywhere. In everything, universal soul is there. Entire world, in the entire world it is there. Yes, yes, we know that. The sages nodded. Yes, yes, they agreed with the beggar also. If the universal soul fills the whole world, it fills me too. So I am also the universal soul. Who am I? But a part of the world, the beggar asked. So I am also belongs to this universal world. Then I am also universal soul. If you are worshipping the universal soul, I am also the part of that universal soul. The beggar asked. You speak the truth, O young Brahmin. Then when the beggar said like that, they have said, yes, it's true, young Brahmin. Then, O sages, by not giving me food, you are actually denying food to the universal soul. Then, when I asked you food, you said there is nothing. Then, that means you are denying. You are denying to worship the universal soul. The sages realized the truth of what the beggar said and shared their food with them. So, that means, that is the story, children. So, we should not be in that imagination that we are praying to God means we are doing something and without helping to others what we are in our surroundings, it will not be any value. Okay, first of all, we have to respect the organisms, the living things, whatever in our surroundings. If we help them, if we cooperate them, then only our worships will be valued. This is the story of the wise beggar. Most Upanishadic thinkers were men, especially Brahmins and Rajas. Occasionally, there is mention of women thinkers such as Gargi, who was famous for her learning and participated in debates held in royal courts. So, in these wise thinkers, there were only Brahmins and Rajas, noblemen only will be there. They have not given any chance to women. But in those debates, royal debates, there was a famous woman who used to participate in these debates. What is her name? Gargi. Okay. That means she also learnt Vedas. She is also equal to those scholar Brahmins. And Gargi was famous for her learning. Poor people rarely took part in these discussions. Poor people, they don't have opportunities to read. That's why those chances to participate in these discussions also very less chances they were having. One famous exception was Satyakama Jabala, who was named after his mother, the slave woman Jabali. So here, but from them, from those poor family only, Jabali's woman son, Jabali's son, who was, what is the name, children? Satyakama Jabala. Satyakama Jabala. Jabali's son, that's why this name came, children, Satyakama Jabala. So, from those poor families, this person who Satyakama Jabala, after her mother name, he got this name. So, this Satyakama Jabala was he became equal to those young and learned wise people. The slave woman Jabali, here we have to know, Jabali was not a common woman, she was a slave woman. Though she made her son to learn Vedas from the poor families, of course from slave family, then also she made her son to learn Vedas. He had a deep desire to learn about reality, was accepted as a student by a Brahmin teacher named Gautama, and became one of the best known thinkers of the time. So, as he is having more interest to learn these Upanishads and Vedas, the one says Gautama accepted him as a student and he taught him all the Upanishads and the thinkings. Many of the ideas of the Upanishads were later developed by the famous thinker Sankaracharya, about whom you will read in class 7th. So all these Upanishads, those learnings you will get in the class 7th. Next, that is about Buddhism, children. Now, Jainism. The next topic is Jainism. Let's see this, Jainism. Okay, the most famous thinker of the Jainas, Vardhamana Mahavira, also spread his message around this time. So, in Buddhism, Gautam Buddha was famous, and in Jainism, who was the founder? Vardhamana Mahavira. Vardhamana Mahavira. He was the founder of Jainism, Vardhamana Mahavira. About 2500 years ago, he was a Kshatriya prince of the Lichavis, a group that was part of the Vajji Sangha. So, he was the king of Vajji Sangha, about which you read already about this Vajji and Magadha, you have read in the 6th chapter. So, he belongs to that Vajji Sangha, who Vardhamana Mahavira. At the age of 30, he left home and went to live in a forest. At the age of 30 only, at the very young age only, he left home and went to forest. For 12 years, he led a hard and lonely life. 12 years, he lived in that forest only and led a hard life. You know how difficult it is to live in the forest. At the end of which he attained enlightenment. So, after spending 12 years in the forest, he got the enlightenment. Enlightenment means moksha. Okay. He taught a simple doctrine. Men and women who wish to know the truth must leave their homes. So, who wanted to know the truth, you have to leave homes. You should not be family lives. Leave home. if you people want to know the truth of life, then you should leave your homes. That's what he said to the Jainism people. And he has taught them so many things, children, that will be very strange. Let's see. They must follow very strictly the rules of ahimsa, and they should follow ahimsa. You should not harm any living thing. Okay, ahimsa, which means not hurting or killing living beings. All beings, said Mahavira, long to live. To all things life is dear. As we have the right to live on this land, remaining all other living things also the same equal right. So we should not harm or hurt any living being. Of course, it may be a plant, a tree, an animal, a bird, whatever it may be, a small creature. We should not harm them. Ordinary people could understand the teachings of Mahavira and his followers because they used Prakrit. To convey his messages, he used the language Prakrit. Prakriti, already I explained, Prakriti is the common language, used language in those days. That's why he also used this language to pass the teachings. There were several forms of Prakrit used in different parts of the country and named after the regions in which they were used. For example, the Prakrit spoken in Magadha was known as Magadhi. In Magadha kingdom, what was the language used? That Prakrit language was named as Magadhi. Followers of Mahavira, who were known as Jainas. So, these Mahavira followers, they were called as Jainas. In Tenali also there are so many Jaina families are there, Jaina people, Marwadis, and they have so many shops, and one Jaina temple is also there, na children? Okay, next. Had to lead very simple lives, begging for food. So, these Jainas, what they have to do? They have to lead simple life. They have to beg people for their food. They had to be absolutely honest and were especially asked not to steal. You should be very honest. You should not steal others' things. Then only you will be called as Jaina. Also, they had to observe celibacy. And men had to give up everything, including their clothes. You should not wear clothes. Men should not wear clothes also. You should not keep any desire on you. Then you have to follow this celibacy. That means you should leave clothes also. But are there anyone like that? No. It was very difficult for most men and women to follow these strict rules. Nevertheless, thousands left their homes to learn and teach this new way of life. Of course, this much strict rules were there in Jainism. Then also so many left their homes and followed Vardhamana Mahavira. Many more remained behind and supported those who became monks and nuns, providing them with food. So, in some members, what they have done, some of them left homes and became Jainas, and some who appreciated these teachings, what they have done, they supported those monks who left their homes, monks and nuns. They have provided food. In that way, they followed this Jainism. Jainism was supported mainly by traders. See, many shops in Tenali, where in whatever shop we go, they will keep a box, donation box. They will say, see, donate for the animals. Like that, they will write in those boxes. In every shop, so many shops I have seen. Maybe you also have seen, children. Yes or not? So many boxes will be there. Donation, charity they will do. Farmers who had to kill insects to protect their crops found it more difficult to follow the rules. So, farmers, will they keep like this? No. To protect their crops, they will use pesticides, fertilizers and all those. For that, the insects will die. So, they can't continue in this Jainism. Over hundreds of years, Jainism spread to different parts of North India and to Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The teachings of Mahavira and his followers were transmitted orally for several centuries. They were written down in the form in which they are presently available at a place called Vallabhi in Gujarat about 1500 years ago. So many of the followers, what they have done, they have kept those recordings in the written form. Those written documents we can found in Vallabhi, in a place named Vallabhi, which was located in Gujarat. Okay, so this is about Jainism, children, and some more the Sangha and monasteries were there. These parts I will explain in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.